Hi guys, welcome and welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys so much for coming back to another video. If it's your first video guys, you know what to do. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and drop a comment. Returning subscriber, returning viewer, welcome back. Thank you guys so much for coming back to I'll be doing a story time with you guys today guys, but in doing a story time I'm also going to be sharing my tips as to how you can get a job in Canada as a visitor, right? So if you guys don't know, Canada has now made it possible that if you're here on a visitor visa, as long as you're able to get an LMIA job, you are able to apply for a work permit without leaving Canada. Before, in the past, what you had to do is to go back to your home country, then apply for the work permit and then come back to Canada. But now, once you're here in Canada as a visitor and you're able to land an LMIA job, you don't have to go back home. You can apply for a work permit and remain in Canada as long as you get an LMIA job. I'm going to be talking a little bit about that in terms of how do I suggest that you get an LMIA job and apply for a work permit, tips and tricks that can probably work in your favor. Now, in saying that, I would like to say, guys, that I am not an immigration consultant, lawyer, affiliate. This is not legal advice. This is just my experience. So please understand that, right? Now, LMIA stands for Labor Market Impact Assessment, and that is what an employer has to apply for with the government, and then the government say, hey, you are approved to employ persons from outside of Canada or persons who don't have a valid work permit. Now, once an employer apply for that, for a certain position, then they can employ pretty much persons from out of country, and then that person can then apply for a work permit. So that's how LMIA works. Now, having been in Canada and been in positions where I've also been in charge of like hiring persons, the interview process, I've kind of like developed a few strategies that I think the general Canadian employment, I'd say, scope really work with. And I'm going to be sharing some of those tips and tricks, right? Now, remember I said in the beginning I'll be sharing a story time. So the story time that I'll be sharing, guys, is really how did I land my first job in Canada. And if you guys have been following my channel for a while, I'm outside, so I apologize for the background noise. If you guys have been following my channel for a while, you guys know that I am now a banker, senior banker, but that's not necessarily how the journey started. When I just came to Canada, guys, it was literally willing to do whatever we had to do to survive. And one of my very first jobs here in Canada was as a pizza delivery guy. I did a video in the past where I spoke a bit about that, but that was my first job. I was a delivery driver for Domino's Pizza. That was my very first job. And it was a job that I wouldn't thought that I would be doing in Jamaica, but coming to Canada, I was willing to do whatever it is to take care of my family and to integrate, right? That was the key. Now, it wasn't just delivering pizza. If any of you guys are watching this video and you have ever worked with a pizza shop, you know that it's holistic. You have to cut the pizza, you have to make the pizza, you have to wash the dishes, you have to clean out the store, and all of those lovely stuff. So I had to do all of them stuff there, right? So even though you see me now, that was how it started. And that's what I wanted to point out to you guys. When you're making a decision to migrate to Canada, you have to be open-minded. Not everybody is gonna be blessed with the opportunity to get the job of their dreams immediately, but it's a work in progress. You start somewhere and you build your way up. A lot of persons have false expectation, and that's why I wanted to start by saying that a lot of persons have false expectation and think that the same position that they are in their home country is going to be the very same position that they matriculate into when they decide to migrate. Either as a visitor, worker, student, it doesn't matter. Now, some of you guys might be blessed and lucky and fortunate enough to find employment within your scope, within an area that you're not looking for. But not everybody is that fortunate. So just have an open mind, right? Now, let's go back to as a visitor. Now, you come to Canada with the decision that you're going to find an LMIA job. One of the first things that you want to make sure that you're doing, guys, is researching where you're going. There's so many resources on the internet that you can literally pull up all the list of LMIA jobs in that particular region or area that you're thinking of going. Please be proactive, right? Pull up all of these jobs and companies that has been approved for the LMIA jobs. Now, I do have a list as it relates to Alberta and Grand Prairie, but unfortunately I can't share that list on YouTube. Please, if you are interested, just book a time in my calendar and we can go through some, right? My calendar link is where you can book a one-on-one and we can talk about a bit about career coaching and all of those stuff. So that's specific to Alberta though. Now, with that being said, go and do your research and see the LMIA approved organizations within the area, the city that you're thinking of going, And then at least that way, you know, you have like what I call a lead sheet, right? You'll have a lead sheet. Big up all this, no, I'm not big them up, but you know my attack. Anyways, you have your lead sheet. Now, that lead sheet is your roadmap, right? So when you get to that area, you know that you have a list of LMIA approved employers, and that's where you're gonna start. Now, another good resource that a lot of persons know about is the Canadian Job Bank. Now, when you make an application on the Canadian Job Bank and it says open to persons international with or without work permit, and you apply for that job, a lot of persons make the mistake of just applying and leaving and then thinking that that's gonna be enough. But guys, remember now, there's thousands of people potentially applying for that same position, right? So you have to be a bit more proactive and a bit more aggressive if it is that you really want that job. Now, if it is that you're in Canada as a visitor and you have your lead sheet and you apply on the job bank or you apply on Indeed, because oftentimes most employers are going to revert you back to the online application process, don't just leave it there. Visit the employer's office, ask to speak with the hiring manager and introduce yourself and make an impression, right? And make an impression. And definitely, if you're out of country, pick up the phone and call the office and ask to speak to the hiring manager and introduce yourself. And hey, you know what, I've applied for that job, my name is XYZ and I'm really interested and I think I have a lot of skill sets that can be beneficial to your company. Fittest of the fittest, guys. Now, this is an opportunity that a lot of people have been benefiting from. But what I found that the persons who are more aggressive in finding it are the persons who usually find it, right? So you have to be open to to doing the work. Yeah, you have to be open to doing the work, but also you have to be open to taking whatever LMIA opportunity that might come your way, because ultimately it's just a step in the right direction, right? Don't just be tunnel vision on one particular scope. And I'm talking about if migration is the goal, right? Don't just be tunnel vision on one particular, I'd say, scope of employment, but be open-minded, right? If you have to do something for a short term, just to be able to get what you want and then move on and then you'll be able to do whatever you want to do, be open to doing it, guys. Don't be just so tunnel vision that you're not willing to do that. You already made the hard decision of migrating, and the fact that you have made the decision of migrating means that you are willing to start over, because that's what migrating really is, right? You're willing to start over. So if it is that you're willing to start over, don't take shortcuts, right? So I've given you guys a few tips. Now, that's something that worked for me, and that's one of the ways I was able to land one of my first bank jobs. Now, I did apply on the digital website indeed.ca. However, I also took the initiative of taking my resume into the bank and asking to speak to the branch manager and introduce myself and making an impression. So that way now, when they come across your resume now on Indeed, they can remember you and they can remember that this person did make an impression. And then oftentimes, you might get the job. No, it's a numbers game, guys. You throw out 1,000 and you might get back 10. You throw out 2,000, you might get back 20. Right? It's a numbers game. It's a numbers game. But ultimately, you have to be willing to put in the work, because it's gonna be hard work. Be willing to put in the work and just know that this is the only shot you got. And oftentimes it works out, right? Oftentimes it works out, guys. So just know that it's possible. Once you're in Canada as a visitor and you're able to get an LMIA job, you can use that to apply for your work permit, and then ultimately that can be your pathway to permanent residency, right? So as long as it's possible, that's it. Now, I was talking to Nats. If you guys don't know who Nats is my beautiful wife. We migrated to Canada back in the day. I was an international student. She was a temporary worker. That's Nats. So I was talking to Nats the other day and I'm saying, babes, like if we were in Jamaica still and we wanted to migrate to Canada and the opportunity exists that if we have a visitor visa, we can come to Canada and, you know, use that as a pathway to permanent residency. Would we do it? Would we do it? Like, would we have made that choice to you know, sacrifice everything that is our stability and pretty much taking the risk of coming to a new country and doing it and trying? And you know what? We looked at it from every single angle and the answer is always the same. Yes. The answer is yes, we would do it. And that's just because we knew that migrating to Canada is a goal. And if migrating to Canada is your goal, I don't see why you wouldn't do it either, because the worst that can happen is it don't work out, right? The worst that can happen is it don't work out. And if you have to go back to your home country, you might have to apply for another job and whatever. At the end of the day, the worst that can happen is it don't work out. But it's risk and reward. If you don't take the risk, you won't get the reward. Now you can sit there and you can fantasize about it. You can sit there, you can hope and you can pray for it. But if you don't get up and actually do it, or you're gonna get it, nobody's gonna do it for you. It's up to you to take care of you. And I learned that, right? I learned that not everybody have a uncle or an auntie who can part and create the way for them, or a parent. Not everybody have that. Some of us have to do it on our own. If we don't take the initiative and go out there and actually do it, then we're not going to get the reward. And that is what a lot of persons forget, right? Now, the risk is there, but the worst that can happen is it don't work out. Point blank. That's the worst that can happen. Now, the best that can happen is your life is changed. You get your work permit, and ultimately you become permanent resident, and ultimately you accomplish your dream of migrating to Canada. That's the reward, right? So, and I'll share a quote with you guys. Don't let the fear of getting there outweigh the excitement of being there, right? I'll repeat that again. Don't let the fear of getting there outweigh the excitement of being there. It simply means, like for me, I'm aerophobic. I hate flying. But I can't let the fear of flying outweigh the excitement of getting to my destination. The excitement of getting to my destination should always outweigh the fear of the transportation route that I'm going to take to get there. It's the same thing. It's the same thing with your migration journey. Don't let the fear of the risk that and the negative outcome that might come from it outweigh the positive outcome that will come from it, in terms that you are able to, achieve all of this on your own and stuff like that. That should be the driving force and the motivating factor that pushes you and fuel you for you guys to, push towards it. So it's a beautiful day today, not much smoke in the air. I'm actually outside doing this video for you guys. I sit down. I really like sitting down and doing these videos for you guys, so I can share all that I know, so that somebody somewhere can, benefit from my information and transform them life. If you have gotten any value from this video or from this channel, guys, please do not hesitate to hit the like button. If you like the video, guys, like the video. Repeat, if you like the video, if you like the content, if you like the information that is being shared, like the video, right? Subscribe to the channel. Don't just watch the videos and say, oh man, I got so much information there, but yet still don't subscribe to the channel. You don't like the video, you don't even share a video. Come on, guys, help me out. Scratch my back and I scratch your back. As soon as I get the information, I try to come on and share it so that you guys can get it first. And so if it is that you are getting value, like the video, subscribe to the channel and share the videos, right? Of course, guys, there's my calendar link in the video description. I am not an immigration consultant, lawyer, affiliate, none of the above. You guys know the thing. However, what I am is somebody who have been through the process. The sunshine is just in my face like that. Anyways, yeah, much better. I am somebody who have been through the process, guys. I've came as an international student. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get the right angle. I came as an international student. I did that application on my own. I did not have an immigration consultant. I couldn't afford one at the time. I graduated school. I did my post-graduation work permit application myself. I didn't have an immigration consultant. Did it on my own. I extended my wife's work permit application. I did that on my own. Got it extended. My daughter visitor's record extension. I did that on my own. Didn't have a consultant. Applied for 2 separate permanent residence applications, TR to PR and also provincial nomination. I'm in the province of Alberta. Did that on my own. Didn't have an immigration consultant. And we've been through the process, became permanent residency, and now we're on our road to citizenship, and we're doing it on our own. Now, the point I'm trying to make is the process might look overwhelming. It might seem daunting. It might seem challenging. It might seem like the hardest thing in the world, because when you look and you see the amount of documents and stuff that they're asking for, you probably feel a bit overwhelmed, and you oftentimes try to put things into like somebody else's hand, by paying a consultant, by paying a lawyer to get these things done. But what I actually want to say is, unless you have a very difficult situation, or you just don't have any other choice, there's no reason why you can't do it on your own. A lot of persons make the mistake of putting all of their immigration journey into the wrong immigration consultant and lawyer hands. And because of that, a lot of persons have paid the consequences, because nobody is gonna put the emphasis and time into your application that you are gonna take to put into your own application. So you have to remember that as well. A lot of these persons are there just as a business, and you are just a number, right? But if you're doing it, there's so many resources on the internet that you can use to make your application yourself. The very same information that they're getting, you can get it too, right? You can get it too. It just takes a lot of research, right? And a lot more persons are realizing that, and a lot of persons are doing it on their own, right? So I just want to share that, guys. If you like the video, like the video. If you want to continue having these conversations, please become a part of the channel. We share all things Canada related, getting here, being here, and stuff like that. And yeah, we go live every Sunday. Check out our calendar link. So many options on this channel, guys. If you have any value here, stay here, and see you guys in the next video.